You saw Greg Araki's new movie called I Want Your Sex. I've always loved Greg Araki. He's an indie filmmaker. His movie Doomed Generation, pretty amazing. And he comes out with a movie every few years. This has got a great cast. I love the poster. Olivia Wilde and Cooper Hoffman.
Yeah, look at that.
Tell me about I Want Your Sex.
Okay, well, Cooper Hoffman plays Elliot. He's this kind-hearted 20-something who lands a job working for Erica Tracy, played by Olivia Wilde. She's a provocative auteur artist, very sexual in nature. And he's kind of an average, your typical average white guy who gets a job in the art world here. During one of the meetings, Elliot is brought into Erica's office, and she basically chastises him for saying that he has been basically flirting with her way too much, feels like to the point of sexual harassment. And he's like apologetic, feels sorry, feels bad because he really felt like he wasn't really doing it. And she says, "That's okay, you'll learn better. By the way, will you have sex with me?" And she soon becomes her sexual boy toy. And he has a girlfriend, Minerva, played by Charlie XCS, also a best friend. But he doesn't have sex with he barely has sex with his girlfriend. She's just not into it. She doesn't like sex, has her own thing going on. And so he finds that, sure, since they're not having sex, that he can have sex with Erica, and they have lots of it. And you can see the nature of the sex is a lot like this. It's this kind of dominatrix, humiliation type sex. And as things play out, the relationship between Elliot and Erica get complicated. At one point, they bring in Elliot's best friend to kind of join in a threesome. And yeah, I mean, quite frankly, that's the plot of this movie. There's a bit of conflict, but this movie, oh my God. Look, the upside of this movie is if you like Olivia Wilde's boobs, you're going to see a lot of her boobs, and a lot of it in this movie. Greg Araki, I hadn't heard of Greg Araki. People said, "Hey, this is a Greg Araki movie." This is a really bad movie. This is an awful movie.
Oh, really? It's just bad.
Comedy. I mean, I described the plot to you. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, where's it going? Where's it leading to? Yeah, there's, things get complicated, but it just happens because it happens, as opposed to something really sinister down the line. It kind of opens with her kind of getting killed in the beginning. She's face down in a pool, and he, after a sexual dalliance, he may have killed her, and he's kind of under investigation, so he has to tell this story. I think, look, I read a little bit wondering who Greg Araki was, and he makes movies every so often. This is his latest movie, and he felt like he wanted to tell a Gen Z story. And the problem is he doesn't understand Gen Z, and he doesn't understand storytelling, because he thinks that Gen Z is this generation that despises sex, that is uncomfortable with sex, doesn't know anything about sex. And I feel like that segment of Gen Z is what I will call the influencer segment of Gen Z. I think the rest of Gen Z understand what it's like to be a real human being. And while the media and the world focuses on this influencer set. And so it's just full of, this whole Gen Z DEI cancel culture, stuff like that. You talked about Yelena and Peter Parker. If the gender roles were switched in this movie, this would be a very uncomfortable movie to watch, because bosses don't do this to their employees, but because it's switched and guys want this anyways, then it's okay. The biggest crime, though, in this movie, and I saw it with a half full audience, is no one laughed. And this is really,
and it's supposed to be a comedy.
It's supposed to be a comedy, but this is indicative. I've mentioned this ad nauseum. This is indicative of Gen Z and millennial comedy. Comedy to Gen Z and millennials, comedy is basically present a weird idea. Hey, this is weird. Yeah. Funny. You get it? And that's just what this is. It's a series of one weird idea, one weird statement, one weird situation, and it's got it. It's weird. And while our generation, Gen X, we have a different take on comedy. We have what is called a setup, an idea that connects with audiences. Say, yeah, I've been in that situation before, and then it's the twist on that, followed by a punchline, and that punchline, they call it a punchline because it makes you laugh. So it's a setup, a twist, and a punch. That's how that's what we call as comedies. We laugh out loud. When we're in a group, we laugh with the group. It becomes this really fun communal experience. And I believe modern or young filmmakers these days don't understand that. And that's why, look, go to She-Hulk, and it's the exact same problem in this comedy. Funny situation, right? Laugh.
I hear you, Alan. Well, it may not have been a great movie, but it really is a great poster.